Barbara has once said that creative thinking inspires ideas, ideas inspire change. This quote is truly applicable to Mr. Vijay Saheta, who is the Managing Director of Connectwell Industries Private Limited. A metallurgist by training, Mr. Saheta was inspired to make the right connection when beaten by an entrepreneurial bug in 1970s. Established in 1977, Connectwell is one of the leading manufacturers of terminal blocks and interface modules in India. With a revenue of approximately 113 crores, the company serves to various industry segments in India and abroad, including companies like Siemens, L&T, Nuclear Power Corporation, to name a few. Sir is also a recipient of awards from COSMA and NAPEC. I request Mr. Saheta to enlighten us with his motivational journey.
Dr. Savle and the distinguished guests, Ujwala ji, Barkha ji, Dilip ji, and the faculty and future of India. Namaskar and good afternoon. Come on. So we heard very interesting talk from Ujwala ji. I would put it in a single sentence: the show must go on. And that is what she did. Hats off to you, ma'am. Well, a small thing, whether a manager or an entrepreneur, as you said, journey starts with a single step. You have to be you. You have to decide you are going to work, you are going to manage, you are going to be entrepreneur or whatever. Even an entrepreneur has to manage. The manager has to think like an entrepreneur. Then only you can become successful. So, I would like to share something from my career, like how this industry came into existence. You would have read and come across so many examples of successful industrialists like Bill Gates and Google and all kind of things. Tata Steel, they are all big things. Hats off to them in the industry and the building industry and everything. But then everything cannot be same. Your 5 fingers cannot be same. The small finger and the thumb have to be different. So it was immediately after my college, I was fortunate to get job immediately. I am a metallurgist by profession. So I got a job in rolling mill. Now this was a challenge when I come into the workshop or the melt shop. I was puzzled. Nobody taught us all this in college, believe me. I was surprised. What is this going on? The managers and the supervisors and the mistries and those kind of things, I'm talking about 1971. Ages ago. I can't even count how many years ago. So that was the time. It was so difficult, like furnaces. What is a furnace? What is a rolling mill? What is what? Absolutely new, different. So what do? You keep your head down, look at everything, start following, start hearing, listening, everything to everybody. Whoever is your team member, who is your boss, whoever is your not likable worker or whatever. And slowly you start learning. But believe me, the thing which helped me the most was listening to the boss, cooperating with your colleagues, and respecting the labor. This is what it started. Like I started believing my workers are my teachers, my bosses are my teachers, my colleagues are my teachers. So let's listen to them. And sure enough, like you start picking up the things, start spending time. At that time, the duty used to be 8 hours. But I guess in my first job, I never worked less than 12 hours. Nobody telling me. And the idea of nobody told me. So my thing was, okay, my job was incomplete. If I don't know something, how can I go home? How can I, leave something in half? So I must, acquire the knowledge and do everything. My sole aim was, how do I make my works manager useless? Which means, I do everything what he is doing. And sure enough, in about 3 years' time, or rather 2.5 years' time, the works manager resigned. When he resigned, I thought the company will make me works manager. No, sir. It was the days and the time when nobody made a 23, 24-year-old boy a manager or a works manager. So they brought in a new works manager. And looking at the qualities and the knowledge of the new works manager, I thought I know much more than this guy. So what is this? So this differentiation, or as you call it in the US, what do you call it, something, you don't respect the age and you're not giving enough respect. So this is what something was, playing on my mind. What is this? I will never go up. Well, during that time, even the new works manager got a lot of knowledge, which was something different. He came from a different industry, so he brought in different things. So I started learning more and more. During the job, in many times, like I would be late from factory. In those times, this is interesting. I mean, I would like to share with you. My mother used to tell me, "तुम्हारे बाप की company है क्या?" I used to say, "Yes." मेरे बाप का बेटा उधर काम करता है तो वो अपने हिसाब से करेगा. So like this is the ownership. Even if you are a supervisor, if you are a worker or anything, if you own up the operation, you definitely grow. Well, this idea was behind. I kept looking out, and then came a chance. Somewhere somebody told me that there is a motor industry for sale. Incidentally, my wife was working in a company where she was in charge of design and assembly of motors. So this was a good opportunity. We went to see. I had no money. So what do? I bring my college friends together. I had no money. I was son of my father was in service, so we never had big money here. So like I get hold of these friends. I said, "Come on, let's go and see if we can buy this company." We went together, 5 of us, and sure enough, the money asked was too much. It ran into lakhs. Lakhs in those days was a big money. Said, "No, it's not possible." So while we were returning, and remember that that time I had my business on. While returning, one of our friends, he came up with an idea. He said, "I have developed this connectors. I have developed a couple of tools, molds as we call them. So why don't you guys join, take up this project and start?" And sure enough, one of my financial friends, who is currently in building industry now, he said, "Come on, wo do paise wala baat mat karo. Charane ka connector, charana kamana, we don't want to do this." I said, "Wait, listen to her. Let's listen to him." And this was quite interesting. I mean, he narrated to us, okay, it requires molding, it requires sheet metal or something like that. We can put it together and it will need a very small shop. We can do this and we can make money. I said, okay, let's do it. So 4 of us decided that we'll do it. It was this gentleman whose idea that he was supposed to run the operation in the beginning. And me having business, I said, I will not join this business. Only my wife will join you when it is good. And the other 2, out of that, one was the financial guy. He says, I will never join this business. I will only support you with finances whenever required. And the 4th one said, as and when. Well, that was the time my existing business, the trade and consultancy business went bad. I had to give up. I had to again accept a job somewhere else, again in a rolling mill. And this friend of ours, before the company could start, before the machine could start producing a piece, he comes back with us, comes back to us and says he has a family problem, he cannot run the company, he cannot start it. Now the knowledge is with him and he is trying to go back. Hey, come on, what is this? Is it a joke? So he withdraws, and during that time, as I said, the generation gap had a impact on me. I said, okay, ye to kuch ho nahi raha hai. I said, I'll take it up. Because I have been asked this question multiple times. As a metallurgist, why did you start electrical industry? Yes, I had no clue. What is this? But I took up this challenge while my second job was going on, which means I used to work in shifts. So if I'm going to the company in the morning, I would attend to this somewhere in the late afternoon. And if it is a night shift, then I would be working in this. So, friends, my point is, when you're working also, you can always look out and do the things. So what really happened is in the next 3-4 months, I generated enough confidence, I gave up the job, and came full-fledged in this. I was not designed to be an electrical product manufacturer, but then it came on, and then, yeah, it's a shock for you. You learn it. So sure enough, the learning started. It involved molding, it involved sheet metal component, it involved making tools and molds, which is a very advanced kind of engineering. But then once you have to do it, you have to do it. So that is just a beginning, and on a very, I would say it started on the left foot. But then in 3 years' time, first 3 years, I also realized one more thing. This product required a brand image. Because in our country at that time, there were more than 30 manufacturers of these products. So why would anybody buy this? Why should I buy a Connectwell? Oh, Connectwell kaun hai? So this first 3 years went in that, which means it was a disaster. Nobody allows you. As a matter of fact, my first sales call was a disaster. I fix up an appointment, and when I reach that place in the afternoon, I'm standing in front of the buyer, and he says, yes, are you from Elmex? I said, no, I'm from Connectwell. He said, but you said on the phone, you are in terminal blocks. I said, yes, I said terminal blocks, but there's one simple thing. He said, you can go. That was my first sales call. So, adversities will always be there. When I came down from that office, I didn't know whether to cry or what to do. Because there was no... I had an unsuccessful business behind me, 2 jobs that I gave up. So what option I have? Just swim along. So that is how it took 3 years before this brand could become recognized. I was never a salesman. Chota mota sales consultancy kiya tha, but then not going to people and selling the stuff. So what do? You make catalogs, then you make catalog. Promotional details. Sales requires not only talking to people, but printing literatures, going to exhibitions, and promoting the things, sending letters. In those days, there was no email, no Google, no nothing, and with no knowledge, what you would do? What I would do is look into Times of India, look at companies advertising for jobs, but those companies, if they are related to any electrical industry, send a letter to the chief electrical engineer, blah, 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 this is my product. It brought in responses. In those days, without internet, without proper communication of trunk calls, material from Dombivli and Chembur to Cochin, Calcutta, through this method. The point is, keep doing it. You have all the time in the world. So, it started with marketing. At that time, for the first 3 years, there was no staff. The staff of the company was and myself. So you would be definitely doing sales, you would be doing purchase, you would be doing manufacturing, you would be doing anything. In college slang language, it is called head and tail of the department. So you are supposed to do everything. Now what drove Connectwell further ahead was self-criticizing. Our products were not as good as the number one in those days in the country. You should continuously do benchmarking. And this is precisely what we started doing. That brought us from Chembur to Dombivli. In Dombivli, we constructed our small building, machines, and engaging people. And that is where my knowledge from my first job, respecting the labor, helped me. We developed a tool room, we started doing this, and then came first opportunity in 1990. An exhibition of very great importance started in India. In our field of businesses, it is Elecrama. Elecrama is the largest exhibition of these products. We started believing in the theory that what you produce should be acknowledged by the user. If it doesn't fail, you get registered. And when the export starts, It is respect of your country. You have obligation towards your country to produce a good product. You cannot supply a junk to outside country. So that also brought in a culture that why do we not pay the same attention for the products in our country? So this is how our mindset and the culture changed. We started paying attention to this. Now, this journey started going up. We started getting acclaim in the market. Our customers started buying from us. Leading customers like from L&T, Siemens, ABB, you name anybody, they started coming to us. Now, what we started doing is, we started realizing that now we need international approvals. We started focusing ourselves, and during that time, we acquired the UL American approval, the German approval, the VDE approval, the IEC approval, the CE mark, and all these approvals we started getting. Connectwell decided to participate in Hanover Messe. So we displayed our goods there. In 1998, that our products are perhaps not acceptable norms of these Western countries, which means we need better equipment to produce this. We learned different type of equipments what are going on in the world. So these are the advantages of taking part in exhibitions. When it was an international exhibition, it gave us not only exposure to the markets, but also to learn what equipments we should use. So Connectwell made it a goal, or we made it a policy, that all the equipments in the company would be imported. So this way the journey went on. I mean, like we started doing this, bringing in overseas equipments and, you know, conforming to this particular standards. So that became a thing. Yes, with all this kind of things, we started focusing on various other activities like development, the research, in our products we need lot of research work to be done. We have to make sure that our products don't infringe on patents with the existing products in the world. So we have acquired those skills, which means we have a product development division. Our company is also registered with the DSIR. So these are necessities. Now how all these things came in? All these things came in by keeping eyes open, ears open, looking around the exhibitions, traveling. In my career, I must have traveled, I don't know, more than 40, 50 countries or something like that, where, you know, you come across different cultures, different technologies, and you bring those things in. And today, I'm very proud to tell you that in our company, we produce the material. Of course, revenue-wise, it may not be a big number, but we compete the number one, which is in Germany, on the same levels. And exports also teach you the international requirement, which means what does the international market require? They are all intelligent markets. Our Indian markets wouldn't have taught you that. As a matter of fact, one small incident before I close, I would like to share it with you. Around 1994, a German company started manufacturing these products here. The company's name is Phoenix Contact. At that time, I was kind of wild. I said, how can government allow this kind of companies, big companies, to come and operate here? This is you know, what is it? Like, it's taking away rights of a small scale industry. We cannot even survive. They are allowing this kind of companies. But today, after 22 years, I would say I was a fool to talk like that time. Thanks to the government policy that company came in, and today we are doing same what those people are doing. We learned this from the markets. So we should never be scared of this kind of encroachments, whether they are coming in from outside or whatever. So this is what helps you. Competition is not enemy, competition is friend. Competition always teaches you. Last but not the least, I would like to tell you, friends, you will always come across good and bad side of the life. You will find somebody bad, something bad. which is bringing in short gains. Something good, not paying short gains. But please believe me, bad, you should be lucky that, okay, this is a demonstration has been given to you, this is a bad thing. Please refrain from that. The good will always be a bit difficult, but it will help you. There's other thing which I would like to tell you, as Ujjwala ji also told you, that money is not side, but it's a byproduct, I would say. In engineering, we call it a process, that's something you're doing. जो byproduct निकलता है ना, वो पैसा है आपका. That you will get. So if you do everything right, it will automatically come. You don't have to chase for this. And other thing which I would like, last thing before I close is, there is nothing like good quality and hard work. If you do the thing according to what has been told to you, is that quality, you are supposed to do that. What is the big thing about good quality? If you have not done the thing as required, you have failed. So concentrate what it is and do. There is nothing like good quality, just do it. Same thing, there is nothing like hard work. What do you mean by hard work? Have you heard anybody dying of hard work or working for longer hours? Never. So just work. This is my advice to all young friends here, future of India. Please follow that old rules जो आपको primary school में सिखाया गया था. No lies, no chori, no nothing. Those work always. Whatever you're seeing in the media or what, it's just a temporary thing. If you follow all these things, you will be successful. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.